Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Indiana Overtime. Here from Assembly Hall, Alex McCarthy, Seth Tao. The bouncing you hear behind you is a bunch of IU staff members and reporters trying to make half-court shots. So,
trying and failing.
Yes, it's not going well. But what did go well for on this court tonight for Indiana was the important part. The game Indiana beat number 3 North Carolina 76-67. It was kind of the opposite of what happened in March, where North Carolina just came blazing out and kind of buried IU early. Tonight it was kind of the opposite. Indiana came out, got up to a 26-9 start, hit a couple threes, and especially during that stretch, Rob Johnson was pretty fantastic. He's all over the court.
Yeah, I mean, he's played pretty well so far early in the year for the Hoosiers, but what we didn't see from him so far, and we saw from him tonight, he even had a little bit of swagger going on tonight. He showed more visible confidence than you kind of see normally from Rob Johnson. He's usually the quiet guy that flies under the radar with a sneaky good performance, but he was out there tonight. And Crean said after the game that he thought Rob was on another level.
Yeah. I mean, again, he doesn't really leap off the stat sheet. He finished with only 11 points and 4 for 8 shooting, 6 rebounds. I mean, he did a little bit of everything, 3 steals.
That's just what Rob Johnson does.
Yeah, and it seemed like he kind of dominated the game for stretches.
Especially in the first half.
Especially, in the opening minutes.
He really quieted down after halftime.
Yeah, but he didn't really need to be, to really control things after halftime. All 5 starters for Indiana were in double digits tonight, led by OG Anunoby, who had a team-high 16 points. Had a couple of the kind of highlights of the night. He threw down a dunk at this end with one hand off a feed from Newkirk. He threw down a dunk on the other end where he kind of sidestepped through a couple of Tar Heel defenders. But that one, which was kind of the clincher, put Indiana up by 11 with just over a minute and a half left. But he landed awkwardly, I guess, on his ankle, and his status is uncertain going forward. So kind of a rough couple weeks for OG Anunoby. He gets sick last week at Fort Wayne. Tonight, a really excellent performance, and the storyline with him after the game is whether or not we're going to see him anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you have a highlight play like that alley-oop, and that's not the big story after the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that injury is a big deal for Indiana. I mean, we saw what happened in Fort Wayne when they didn't have a healthy Anunoby. I mean, he is a huge difference maker for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think there are 3 games before they play Butler in Indianapolis, so conventional wisdom would say that even if Anunoby sits for a couple of those games, they'll be fine. But honestly, we probably thought that about Fort Wayne as well, that if OG was a little bit off his game, IU would be fine, and obviously they weren't. But excellent game from him, 16 points, 6 for 8 shooting. Still needs to work on his free throws, 3 for 7 from the line. And that was kind of a storyline throughout the game as well. Both teams really were not capitalizing at all from the line. North Carolina was 13 for 22, Indiana was 18 for 27. There were just, every time Indiana would miss a free throw, this sold out Assembly Hall would just groan of like, how could IU be giving this away? And North Carolina made a run late in the game. They trailed for double digits for most of the game, but they got it back down, I think all the way to 4 at a point late in the game. But Indiana was kind of able to go on a run at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina was facing an uphill battle from the tip-off. I mean, the crowd was undeniably a factor in this game. I mean, that's how Indiana really rode out to that 26-9 lead. It was just they were feeding off the crowd all night, and anytime North Carolina made a little bit of a run, Indiana was able to answer back. And I mean, the place was just buzzing tonight.
And you said it was something like a 10-1 run.
After North Carolina cut the lead to 4 in the second half, with about 4.5 left, Indiana went on a 10-1 run up to around when Anunoby got hurt.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, they were just able to, like you said, it seemed like they always had an answer, whether it was Anunoby hitting a 3 or Blackman hitting a 3 or getting a steal or something.
I remember there was a big one that Josh Newkirk hit.
Yeah, that too. Newkirk had an interesting game where he would be really good on a few possessions, made a couple of really good plays, but then there would be other ones where he just kind of tried to do a little bit too much. He was 4 for 10 from the floor tonight, had 10 points, but it was just kind of a hit or miss game for Josh Newkirk. I think there's a lot of kind of frustration with that in this building tonight, but it worked. I mean, Indiana again was not perfect tonight. Same as against Kansas, they weren't perfect. There were times when they really didn't look that great, but they never trailed in this game. There were zero ties, 0 lead changes. So Indiana just kind of rolled tonight. James Blackman, just to kind of wrap things up here, James Blackman returned tonight after his knee injury held him out the other day against Mississippi Valley State. He said that there was really never any doubt in his mind that he'd be able to get back and play today. But he had a pretty solid game, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 3-pointers, including a pretty big one late. And just, I don't think anyone wins this game without him. Obviously,
no.
I mean...
And I think Crean was limiting his minutes a little bit also.
Yeah, it's possible.
Second lowest among the starters, but I mean, you didn't see him out on the court for quite as long as stretches as you did kind of before his injury, I think.
Yeah, probably. And he did look engaged defensively for a lot of the time. There was a play under the basket where he poked a ball away, and then Rob Johnson grabbed it and then got fouled, and it was kind of a big emotional moment. Thomas Bryant ran screaming down the court, but he does that after every play, so I guess it's hard to tell from that sense. But he did make a couple plays and rebounded the ball really, really well. That was one of the big differences in this game. Is guard
rebound shy of a double-double.
Yeah, so pretty good. And he tied for the team lead with 3 assists. I mean, just did a little bit of everything and looked healthy and in the flow of the offense despite missing practice and everything like that. So. Pretty strong showing all around from Indiana. I mean, they really limited basically all of North Carolina's stars. I mean, Joel Berry was 3 for 13 from the floor, 1 for 6 from distance. I mean, if you take away Justin Jackson, who had 21 points, there was really nobody who played that well for UNC. I mean,
Justin Jackson is the only reason this game wasn't a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of had an answer for everything. He was really the only guy who was able to score with any effectiveness. Joel Berry didn't score for 11 minutes, for the first 11 minutes.
I mean, Berry was way off tonight. He got into foul trouble early.
Yeah.
And just didn't have it tonight. Isaiah Hicks didn't have it tonight.
He fouled out.
So, I mean, it's just a tough night for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, and IU players were talking after the game about just kind of trying to limit the strengths of North Carolina. They went right at them. I mean, North Carolina really good in transition, usually really good on the offensive glass. They had 2 fast break points and 8 second chance points tonight. So that's another huge difference in tonight's UNC performance versus their really dominant first 7 games.
And Roy Williams also pointed out that Indiana was much more aggressive in limiting Carolina in the post tonight. The Heels need to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging.
Yeah, it did look like Indiana was just kind of playing on a different level in terms of just effort and aggression and everything like that.
Especially in the first half, the defense looked much improved. They were forcing Carolina into some bad shots and not really giving up as many open looks. And it looked like a step forward was taken.
Yeah, definitely. You didn't see any of those not many of those open layups that they were giving up against Fort Wayne or even Mississippi Valley State. So Indiana moves on from this, faces SIU Edwardsville, I think, on Friday, and Southeast Missouri State on Sunday. So those will not be nearly as interesting as this one. The atmosphere won't be nearly the same. But fun night tonight. It's going on 1 a.m. Everyone's cleaning up and just taking half-court shots here. So we're going to get out of here as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for reading and everything like that. We're going to get some sleep. But have a good rest of your week, and we will see you Friday.